Hello and welcome to the second part of lesson number 8. This is our third lesson in Unit 2B in our grade 10 academic math class. This is the sine law. So we've spent the first half of this lesson talking about what the sine law is, how it works, we proved it, and then we went on to use it to find a missing side length. We're now going to push forward and use it to find a missing angle. So here we are in C using sine law given two sides and one opposite angle. We have triangle JER, and let's fill in some information. So we have triangle JER with angle J being 42 degrees, and we have side little j being 10.2 centimeters, and we have side little e being 8.5 centimeters. And we are looking to find angle E. So this is the one that we want right there. Let's fill this same stuff in on the triangle. So we have J 10.2, and the angle was 42 degrees, and then side little e, I think it was 8.5. And this is the angle that we're looking for. So visually in the triangle, what we have already is a side angle pair, angle 42 degrees, and the side across from it. We have a side, and then we're looking for the angle across from it. So we have 3 out of 4 pieces of information, which means we can be using the sine law. Similarly over here, you'll notice that a side angle pair means you have a horizontal line that goes through 2 pieces of known information, the angle and then its corresponding side. We have the other side, and it leaves us to find the angle. So let's set up a sine law and go get that. So we are going to find, let's do orange maybe. So let's do sine, or find angle E. Find angle E, and we're going to set up our sine law. Let's just jump, well, let's do the letters too. So sine of j over j equals the sine of E over E. Now we'll do a substitution. So the sine of 42 degrees over 10.2 equals the sine of capital E over 8.5. I just want to check that. Yep, we're looking good. So again, as I said before, we've set up a nice proportion here. 2 values equal to each other over an equal sign. We are going to cross multiply to get this thing happening. So we have the sine of angle E times 10.2 equals the sine of 42 degrees times 8.5. How do we isolate our variable? Well, we have to start by dividing both sides by 10.2. And then, interestingly enough, we're going to be left with the sine of E equals all of this stuff, whatever it comes out to be. Now, how do we undo the sign of something? As I hope you'll recall from the first half of this unit, we are going to take the sine inverse of this whole value. I know I've said it a few times already, but you'll notice that I'm not actually doing any calculations yet. I want to save all of the rounding, if possible, to the very last calculation that I make. So we're going to type this into our calculator. I am going to, the way that my calculator works, I'm going to type in all the contents here, all this stuff, and then I'm going to hit the sine -1 of it. So I'm going to start by typing in the sine of 42 degrees times 8.5 equals, divided by 10.2 equals, and then I'm going to hit my second function, sine, which is the sine -1 equals, and I get 33.89, so that's going to be approximately, oh, that's a highlighter, it's going to be approximately 34 degrees, give or take, and there is angle E. So hopefully this is now making sense. Sometimes you'll be given a side angle pair right out of the gate like we were here, and then we're able to go on to find another piece of information across from whatever side or angle we've already been given. Sometimes, like the example we worked before, you'll be required to go and find that third angle using the sum of interior angles, and then you'll have a side angle pair that you can use. Let's work our last example, which is solving a whole triangle for all unknown values. Let's pop these values of triangle PEG into both our table and our triangle. So we have side, or rather angle G is going to be 27 degrees. Side little p is 17 units. Side little g is 13 units. And let's get all that into the triangle. So we have angle G is 27 degrees, and side little g is 13, and side little p is 17. So do we have a side angle? Well, I guess first is, are we working with a right angle triangle? We are not. So we're going to be using as our tools sum of interior angles, cosine law, and the newly discovered sine law. From here, are we given a side angle pair? And we are given a side angle pair. We have 27 degrees being angle G and side little g as well, which means that we have to find angle P first, as it is opposite the only other piece of information that we've been given. So let's do that first. Let's change up our colors here. Let's go green, and we are going to find angle P. Number 1, find angle P. And we're going to set this up. We're going to jump right over the letters this time. We're just going to do the sine of our known values. So the sine of 27 degrees over 13 is going to equal the sine of our unknown angle over 17. Set up really nice here. We're going to cross multiply. We are going to end up with 13 times sine P equals 17 times sine 27 degrees. To isolate sine P, I'm going to divide both sides by 13. And some of you might be asking, how does this ordering work? Like, why would you divide by 13 first? Why would you not undo the sign? Think of sine as being in sort of the same category as exponents, in that it's one of the very last things that you're going to do. We don't really talk about it when we're talking about bed mass in general, but that would be the sort of slot. It would come after undoing all the addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division, but before brackets. Okay, so we have sine P left here being equal to 17 multiplied by sine of 27 degrees all over 13. So how do we get to angle P? We are going to take the inverse sine of this whole mess of stuff. 12 over 13. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to try to put this in all in one fell swoop. I'm going to do the guts of this bracket first, and then I'm going to do the inverse sine of it. So let's type that in. We have 17 times sine 27 equals, divided by 13 equals, and I'm going to do the second function sine of that. And it comes out to 36.4, so we will round that to, whoops, that's the highlighter, we'll round that to approximately 36 degrees, and let's pop that in the table. So here we have 36 degrees. From here, I think the most obvious thing to do is find that third angle. So let's go get that next. Number 2 is going to be find angle E. Angle E. So if we're going to find angle E, we are going to just subtract the two values that we have from 180. That's 36 and 27. Let's pop that in the calc and see what we get. So we've got 180 minus 36 minus 27 equals, that's 117. And we'll put that in, 117 degrees. Now from here, we're going to set ourselves up a sine law. Since we have plenty of side angle pairs to pick from, I will let you know that I'm going to be using the side angle pair that we were given in the original question, just in case we made a mistake finding that 36 degrees. So let's go get it. Last but not least, we are going to find side little e. 3, we're going to find little e. So let's set ourselves up a sine law. Same as before, I'm going to use the 27 and 13, so the sine of 27 degrees over 13 will be equal to the sine of 117 degrees over little e. Set up nicely, let's cross multiply. We have e times sine 27 degrees is going to be equal to 13 times the sine of 117 degrees. To isolate e, we divide both sides by sine of 27 degrees. And we end up then with e being equal to, and we're going to round this to one decimal place. So we have 13 times the sine of 117 degrees equals, divided by the sine of 27 degrees equals, and we get 25.5. So 25.5, and our unit of measure was not given, so just a unit then. So 25.5. That is our last value. Let's do a quick dummy check here. So our largest angle is indeed across from our largest side, and our smallest angle across from our smallest side. So the dummy check checks out. We're all good. So this is the sine law. This is the final tool that we need to replace those that were lost in the transition from right angle triangles to non-right angle triangles, or any type of triangle at all. You have some homework here listed at the bottom, and following that, we're going to do a few applications, a few word problems, and then we're going to call it a day on Unit 2B. So if you have any questions with the homework on sine law, please reach out via email, or reach out in person in our class, or reach out via the chat that we have going on when classes are happening for those who are not in the room. So good luck with the homework, and we'll see you in lesson number 9.